That was the diaspora of all the Nazis from Europe into America to kill every pagan nation. That is the 500 Nations Massacre, and that is the launch for a laugh of the Six Nations rugby tournament. There is the family tree for Joseph Alois Scherf. So we're tracking down in the recent videos the families that took Nazism into America, and this is a stunner. Okay, let me show you some of the people that are implicated in this. Yeah, and thank you to Genie, the organisation that has now softened up its software access, and I'm now able to get family trees, and on those family trees are these people. Okay, there is that one. On that there is Maria Theresa Remp. Her maiden name is Grimm. And if you go down this limb of the tree, you get to this person, who I used to lobby in the Houses of Parliament, Norman Tebbit. Yeah, Austrian nobility, Lord Norman Tebbit, and that is the global mafia. And he's got a wooden spoon, a metal spoon actually, and that will be something to do with his dick. And all of them are completely brainless. And let me show you the others. Yeah, this is Mr. Hindler, and that becomes Mr. Schindler. And the massive businesses, the links of that family to the women with no knickers that are Marlene Dietrich. Yeah, and that is the diasporas across the Atlantic onto the stage in America where they are capable, and that is the Hinder family on the bloodline that you're about to see. And if we go on a little bit, we'll get a little bit more of that, because Tyson, that was trading with the enemy that is Bush, yeah, that he's actually trading with his first cousins and his in-laws, because Dyson is the inventor of the vacuum cleaner, and all the books that are read by Naomi Klein proclaim him to be someone who has massively improved the human race's condition. And that is the Tyson characters that are on the same bloodlines as the Grimms, and that is the same characters that are on the Scherf Bush bloodline. That one is the Grimm brothers, and they're on the family tree that you've just seen, but it's a sister of the Grimm brothers. And there she is, Miss Maria Theresia Rempe, yeah, just below Peter Rempe, and her maiden name is Grimm. And that was the Göttingen 7 that sparked all of the ethnic hatred that launches all the wars using the Aryan myths. And they do not get more Aryan than this. That's Joseph Alois Scherf's family tree. Right then, back to the other computer. And there at the beginning is Maria Theresa Scherf, née Goat Bill Gates. Yeah, that's the topic of my last video, and the pictures of that massive car manufacturer, or that massive industrial presence that is now IBM. I believe that he was a car magnate in the earlier days. And all of it is Karl August Goat, Anna Maria Goat, and that is possibly the link to my political right, no it's not, Butner and Stricker and everybody that is in the museum film, Peter Remp, Theresa Scherf, and her name is Dyson. You get it? That's Dyson is the hero for the Hoovers, yeah, and the Hoovers themselves are the bosses at the FBI, and all of it is hilarious if you're one of the Bush family buffoons that gets to own the world because of it. Joseph Scherf, 1779, 18 to 1844. And you need to click on those individual ones if you want to know it. But blessedly, Jeannie have compromised, or my new stance is that I've signed in with them now for the first time, and there is the family tree that on the other computer that is George Scherf. So do you get that? They have picked George Scherf, who was born in 1901 and died in 1901, to be the icon for the Bush family that have become the fascists all over the globe, originally out of Austria and the master race places. So let's get the tree up, and I'll try and rush through it because they have now got, unless that introduction is too long, they have now got, where the heck are? Sorry, just to let you know that it is the simpleton, the domestic, who's looking for jobs with Rothschild so that we can fix this situation. And it is absolutely sordid. Absolutely sordid. Joseph Alois Scherf's family tree, yeah, and that is Joseph Alois Scherf, and that is the A. Louis dynasty, picked for greatness, yeah, out of ancient France where Charlemagne came from, and that is all the residual monarchies, yeah, and all of them are fascists, including the Grimm brothers who wrote the myths. Right then, quick flick across the genealogy trees, and there we are with August Friedrich Salander, master builder, and there we are with the wife of Louis of Bourbon Scherf is Eliza née Smith Schindler, no sorry, Hinder, and there is Private Hinder, Charlie Whiskers Hinder, Tom Narer Hinder, Jesse Hinder, May Hinder, George Scherf, that becomes George W Bush. And you get it, Roosevelt's in the syndicate, Ike Eisenhower is in the syndicate, he's in the same family bloodlines, and now that the Genie Company is allowing me to see the private individuals' surnames, we can make hay. And that is along at the tabs and the places where Will Hay is the tapping family joke. Eichhoff, yeah, you get it, Ike Eisenhower, Private Scherf is married to Ike Eichhoff, and Ike named his son Ike, and he died under 3 years of age. Yeah, because all of them are laughing at what they've done in all the world wars and how they have profited from all of the ordinary dead people's prospects. Richard Alexander Shannon, Private Scherf, Scherf Cannery Row, yep, private, and his name is Cannery, do you get it? Hair Cannery in the early days. Sorry, and there is Chris Evans's families, yeah, the Evangelists. Evans, Scherf, Dimmock, Leslie Scherf. So now we have 2,258 people on the tree, so let's get a fucking move on. Yeah, Chariots of Fire God. Jack O'Sullivan, legendary name, yeah, I think that's in betting. Herbert Henry Louis Scherf, Bertie, Cook, Willock, Scherf, Cowley, Scherf, Chevalier, spelt C-H-E Valley, yeah, the Chevaliers of the Frankish France, and Charlemagne's serial killing empire. Graham Butler, McCarthy, Dent, McCarthy, Simmons, Scherf, Frederick McCarthy, yeah, all of them are now named. Thank you, Jeannie, you can save the world with me. Private Clark, yeah, of Formula One racing, Haynes, Clark, Maud Scherf, and these will be William the Conqueror's relatives from those lines that are Maud and Baldwin. Annie Mary A. Scherf, maybe a virgin. Private Appleby Scherf, Scherf, Scherf. This is the mafias that captured the presidency in America, and they went there in 1937 in a massive global scam called the Shin that goes right back to 1715, and all of the same families are the genocidal players. Nye Boer, yeah, like the Boer War is spelt. Do you get it? O'Hare, Stapleton, Stapleton, Stapleton. Those are the interlocks with the Bismarcks and the Grenfell Morgan bankers. Yeah, and the BBC's attempts to cover the war crimes and the profiteering from every combat. Barrett, Stapleton, Thornley. Yeah, the god Thor just becomes a Mr. Thornley. Stapleton, Borghese, Strubble, Daly, Russell, oh my god. Tavistock, mind control, SS activities, ECT, and having your mind blown out with a toothpick, yeah, so that you get lobotomized. Anne Nay Kavanagh Carpenter, widow. Claridge, Pierce of Alnwick. Yeah, Barbara Bush is Barbara Pierce, and that is the Perses of ancient Rome, and on it goes. Pierce, Bailey, Guestier, Pierce, Waters. Oh sorry, I could be looking further down at the bloodlines. Leiden, Patterson, with 2 T's, John. Private Bailey, Clarice Scherf, Clement Bailey, Kaiser. Yeah, private, right above Booth, who killed the president in America. And both the private, Booth is private, and the Kaiser, Mr. Kaiser, is private. That could be the Mackays of Scotland and Donald's bloodline. Yeah. Mackays or Sosie for the usual suspects. Private Booth, Private Bailey, Private Evans, Private Booth. Down we go now. Painter, Payntner, Kellis, yeah, Ned Kelly. And the Australasian visitors last night that were fabulous and were really angry about Mr. Bean being the war correspondent for Gallipoli. They did not know that. McCail on, yeah, that's the searching for McCail, that's how you spell it, Michailon. 2 of them right at the bottom of the bloodline, 3 of them actually. Evans, Davis, Bailey, Kellis again, Layton, Layton, Private Bailey, Layton, Mr. and Mrs. New, and they are strictly private. Next is Smith, the most common name in the world, right next to Scherf, the most deceitful family in the world, part of that Austrian German nobility, and then they become the presidents of the Allied forces. Yeah, and that's what killed the son of Ike Eisenhower. Ike as well. Dorothy Elsie James, and here's the James Mafias. At least they were still in the first sweep when there were only 1,800 people. Okay, Jean Ann Cubbins, Charles Ernest James, Geddes, the legendary vicars in Scotland that started the Covenanter War, and that is Jenny Geddes' stool, the same spelling, and Jenny Geddes' stool is like the Saltire flag, the icon for St Andrew's Cross, and the upside down cake in the Dad's Army executions jokes. Private James, Private Davis, yeah, like the one who resigned this week, Bortignon, Private James, Private Kingswell, Private Williamson, Private James, Natsu, Sandra. Private James, this is better than last week. And there are the Coons, yeah, the Coon Loeb banking empire that helped the Bush family to steal the whole of America's taxpayers' wealth. And that then goes to the Queen, because all of it is quite medieval and Germanic. Private O'Brien, yeah, have you heard of him? In the B-Aryan team and the sex crimes that cover them all up. Private James, Georgina Boyd, 1900 to 1945. The gods need to be paid more attention to. Pendlebury, Private Murray, spelt like all of the tennis champions and the traitors. Yeah, and the immediate family of the Bushes. Shaw, James Collier, James, oh my goodness, the Private Wilson. Yeah, I think he was quite a high-ranking person in the Dad's Army jokes. Greville Wilson, Private Cobbold, Cobbold, 2 of them are brothers. Private Greville, not anything like Morgan Grenfell. Barbara Ann Wright, Private White, Private Thomson, Richlisters, Tricks, Mr. and Mrs. Tricks, Mr. and Mrs. Birch, Mr. and Mrs. White. Private Thomson, yeah, again and again, all night long, and the rich list endlessly, and the false news, and the publishing empires that all of the sad bastards have, and then they compose Rule Britannia and release the Better Off Together movement into Scottish politics. Phyllis Bertha James, William Marshall Edwin White, 1887 to 1954. The Dawsons, yeah, that are the editors of the Kelso Chronicle. 3 generations of them married to White, Francis and Dawson. Yeah, Dawson marries Dawson. It's quite dangerous, huh? Hamilton, Dawson. Have you heard of the gun license? And the advisor for the Queen of the Longshanks dynasty, who was Hamilton. Yeah, and that is the Hesses of Hamilton and Jimmy Carr in today's Bloodlines. White, Wilson, Prue, Deprue, Warren, yeah, the usual suspects, and the Rabbitohs now. Deprue, Smail, S-M-A-I-L. Harrison, do you see how Jeannie have relented in the last few days? Mary Scherf, Tredrea, we did those. Tredrea, let's keep moving. Sturt, Private Sturt, Alan Sturt, Schumaker, isn't it lovely? And the gods get them all, and their brains are cannot be repaired. Sturt, Schumaker, Sturt, Fuda, Joseph Tredrea, Sophia Jane Scherf, Fuda, F-U-D-A, could be the Japanese connection. Tredrea, Fletcher, yeah, everybody in the cast of Porridge, yeah, Tredrea, and the Kaisers, yeah, that are also in that, and those are my neighbours in the borders, and all of them have hopeless pathologies that they see the light too late. Tredrea, Preddy, Rogers, Nelson, Rogers, Tredrea, Troth. Remember, this is the family that were sent from Europe to become, out of Europe, they're Nazis, and they become the presidents in the Shin, in the massive scams that mean that every president has to be a male, has to be a Freemason, and all of it has to be top secret and SS, and that is the code number SS. The code number for that in the Bible, for the Bible author, is 200 and 200. Tower, 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 Illage, Talbot, Illage, Illage, Treadray, Illage, Evans, Illage, Rudd, R-U-D-D, Sturtridge, Brown with an E on the end, Short Sturtridge, Gillian Sturtridge, 1939 to 2000. Usual suspects still in the game: Cynthia Ruth Sturtridge, Vincent Sheldon Bush, and Sheldon in the comedies. Private C Orward for gold. Sturtridge, 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 Lane, Sturtridge, Private Miller. Remember, this is George Scherfs' tree for the fascists that become the Bush presidency and are best mates of Goebbels, Joseph Mengele, and all of those Nazis that died in their beds in America. Simpson, heard of them before. Private Miller, grinding the bones to flour. Sturtridge, Private Jones, Corporal Jones in the jokes. Sturtridge, Dyer, you get the Dysons are in it, and the Tyssons are trading with the fucking enemy. George W and his dad. Private Pew Barney McGrew and the fascist launch of the fire brigade in Liverpool. By the Beatles, who sing about everything that they kill 6 months before the real incident happens. Oh, sorry, they sing about it or write poems about it. Blanche Sturtridge, Ron McFarlane, that'll be the McPartlins, that were in the pub last night. Doris Valda Sturtridge, Jessie Hayes, Clement Julius Sturtridge, Sturtridge Beverage, those are the folk that are charging me VAT on the storage of my container. If they've not all sold it off, I would not be at all surprised. It's amazing how many acts of God there have been in my hometown, even though I'm not there. That's vanity though, isn't it? Conway, Rees, Conway, Sturtridge, Rees, Irish, Rees, Rees Jones in the monarchy. Conway, Private Rees, Leila, the Oasis element, Olive Sturtridge, Leela, Olive Sturtridge, Mackley, Sturtridge, unknown, private, unknown, Morton, right next to them. The Earls of Morton in World War I were the Batman for the leaders that are Churchill and the Queen's dad, and the other leader was Butcher Haig, and not many people have heard of him in America now that they've cuddled in there. Ethel Alma Price, Jonathan and the lethal papacy now, playing the role of Pope Francis because he's popped his clogs. Ernest Christian Sturtridge Keane, Kiehne, Sturtridge, usual suspects. Warner, usual suspects, and the brothers that run the media, as propaganda, out of Krasnoselk, where the Kaiser Wilhelm's hunting lodge was. Constance Hembro, and the Hambros that you're not allowed to talk about in the SOE or the banking complex that profits from every double agents in every war. Cotty, could be an American tribe. Cawte, Sturtridge, Fairfax, Lady Fairfax, and all of Field McConnell's fans in the chat room with the pastor next to him. Patricia Ann Sturtridge, Private O'Brien, Sturtridge. You get Archbishop O'Brien now and the life of O'Brien. Sturtridge, Taylor, Barbour, Austin, another one of the jokes about the spy who shagged me, like Merkel's video that you must look up if you do not understand Austin in Hitler Youth. Robert Gavin Hume Barbour, Barbour O'Halloran, 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 Sturtridge Emma Louise Scherf, Grimshaw Barbour, unknown, unknown, private, private, private lamps, these might be the Worcesters now, Isabel Millicent Sturtridge, Ernest Charles Barbour, Private Fleming, 2 M's. Yeah, Mariam, right back into ancient Rome where the Flemings were the pagan priests. Largely turnaround for the double agents, both sides then and now. Barbour, 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 Spicer, Tim Spicer and the private armies and the launch of the scam of the nuclear weapon extinction threat in Scotland. All of it reported by me, all of the receipts sent to me. Joan Spence Ride, Barbour, Larson, Barbour, 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 Bate, Barbour, 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 Schouler and the Fowlers of the usual suspects that are Kevin Spacey, and they are also the singer that sings Maggie May, and I forget what his name is. He's the claimants to the Scottish throne, that was the Stuarts. Yeah, the pop singer spends all of his life in Florida with Donald and his mates and the Bushes right next door. Kingston, Sturtridge, Vincent Sturtridge, Private 3, Mr. 3, Singman Ree possibly, Sturtridge, Private 3, Sturtridge, Private Rowe, R-O-W-E, Father, Mother, not allowed to see some of them, Private 2, Private 4, Sturtridge, married to the mother that we're not allowed to know who she is. Here are the Hogans now, of Hogan's Heroes. Hogan West, Hogan West, Hogan West, Hogan West, all of them with the same name, and that is the death camps in Germany jokes for the profiteers in the Lend-Lease scandal. They are the sons of Private Hogan and Private West. Isn't that clever? Yeah, but we're not allowed to know the children's names, so they're called Hogan West, all of them, all 4. Hogan, Elliot, yeah, of Springwood, and the massive Springwood estates that belong to the Roosevelts. Graham Phillick Hogan, Sturtridge, Hogan, Galvin, Galvin, Sturtridge, Galvin, nothing on the top lines yet. Galvin, 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 Allen, Harris, yeah, Harris, Perkins, Harris, Freeland, Lopez, Harris, 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 Aryan Master Race. Next, Harris, Gahan, yeah, like Galan, the president in Spain, who is gifted the massive directorates on the boards of the energy companies in Scotland. Gahan again, Dunkley, Harris, Dunkley, some of my favourite people in the world. Private Harris, Harris, Lawrence Arthur Harris, Dora Blanche Robinson. You'll recognise some of the names, but there are now 2,258, and all of those that were just private and blank boxes are now confessing. Ella Grace Sturridge, Arthur John Harris, possibly of Arsenal Football Club. Yeah, 1989 to 1966, when they got a result in North London. Private Robinson, Private Clark, Warrilow, W-A-R-R-I-L-L-O-W, Robinson, Roots, Robinson, Robinson, Private. Private Robinson, Robinson, McColl of Manaco, Herbert Clarence Harold Robinson, Robinson O'Brien, Robinson MacDonald. Do you get the Vicar of Dibley joke now? Marilyn McCahan, Robinson Richards, Robinson, Cheryl Bradshaw, John Harris again, Private Harris, John Wesley, these are the Protestants, and the Wellesley Woods that are the Duke of Wellington from Austria, von Wellesley. Donald Macaulay, Dit, I don't know what that means, Andrew Wesley, Helen Beatrix Wall, Private Me, and we still got Barry's. Wesley Hall, not Wesley Wood this time, Wesley Wall, Private Mrs Me, Charles Wesley, no maiden name given, for oh yes, it must be a me, and she's the mother of Private Wesley, Helen Beatrice Wall, and that is the Max Wall fascism and walking like an Egyptian, and all of it slots into place, and all of it are my wife's family's favourite jokes about the war dead. Yanolo, Wesley Wall, Yanoli, Wally, Whalley, Martin, Christopher and Gwyneth. Gravenel, yeah, that is the Martins that are descended from the Bible author Fake Up that called himself the Father God and was Arrius PISO in this Aryan master race. Private Wally, Borg, yeah, the tennis champions, B-O-R-G, Wally. Private Peterson, 1T, Courtney, Wally, W-H-A-L-L-E-Y, Brown, could be Braun, in the Germanic days. Wally, Private Potter. Cotter, sorry, the boss at Australian rugby, then the boss at Scottish rugby, and the kings and queens and emperors in Rome. Wally. Where's Wally? In the massive jokes by the Thompson family, because they're on the same fucking tree. Wally, Young, that's Wally, and the pale face is the white man that kills every Indian nation. Giles Kelly, Giles, this is Johnny Giles of Leeds, and because it's popular, if you read that backwards you get the beginning of Seligman, and Leeds is a hub for the PISO family, and it is a massive place, and Johnny Giles is Irish, and I can't comment on that until I make my next video with Sean Maguire. Seligman Giles, Pain, P-A-I-N, yeah, like the beachhead at Normandy when Tom Hanks makes the movie. Yeah, just a massive piss take about what they've done to the ordinary people. Giles, white, Private Part, do you get that? Their name is Mr. Part, and they've opted for privacy. Private Giles, and he could be the next president, because that is like a genius would think. Private Taylor, Private C-O-A-D, Code, Giles, Code, do you get it? Private Part next to him. Giles, Thomson, Richless, Thompson, Private, Unknown, Keith Philip Giles, Private Peterson, Tiraya, T-I-R-A-Ya. Yeah, you get the Ya joke now right through world history, and the sun god is totally neglected. Private Boney, yeah, the women of PISO. Married to a Giles on this occasion. O'Hara, Giles, Dixon, D-I-X-O-N. Giles, Armour, A-R-M-O-U-R. And that could be a Moor, like the rule that you've got to love your neighbour. Ruplayan, Giles Evans, Giles. Yeah, Chris Evans, and the people that get chucked at the pub, and nobody understands it until you realise that they are evangelistic families. Callaghan, Giles, 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 Fitzpatrick, Fitzpatrick, Giles. You get the Seligman translation into the Jewish jokes in Palm Beach with Donald. Fitzpatrick, Giles, Scoogle, Giles, 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 Judith Mary Stoddart, 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 Stoddart. Have we still got batteries? Yeah. Peterson again, Peterson, Milliar, Peterson, Keisler, Stelling, Burgess, Stelling, Weirn, yeah, the rapists in Hollywood, yeah, Hazel, Weirn, Werner Keisler, Private Burgess, Private Stirling, Heidi Joy Peterson, Philip James Peterson, Glenda Peterson, Douglas Albert Peterson, John Douglas Peterson, Andrew Peterson, David John Peterson, Carve Bullpit, oh, maybe the pop singers, Bullpit, 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 yeah, do you get the pulpit? And everything is a piss take, and none of the pagans are left in that land. Private Brighton, 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 Mr. and Mrs Brighton, Private Ward, Dorothy Irene Wesley Wood for the Duke of Wellington's line. Absolutely greedy von Wellesley when they were in Austria. Private Kush, yeah, the joke about the gods, Kush Kush, yeah, and getting the god to behave like your flock. Quick. Schuers, this is the son of a shoemaker again. Popovich, Schuers, Rolf, R-O-L-F-E, Schuers, the shoemaker joke right through world history and into the Jumanji film for the Warner brothers that are children of shoemakers. Popovich, Schuers. Oh no, I must have missed something. The gods are trying to put me onto it. Popovich, yeah, you get the Poppos of Gratfield. That is Queen Elizabeth II's bloodline. Private Meldew, this is Victor Meldew. Private Medju, Millard for Edith Piaf. Milord in the jokes. Sengstock, Medju, Sengstock. Klein, oh my god, and we're into the Cluny Abbey now. Yeah, do you get that? That is George Clooney making all those casino films because Charlemagne lived in casino. And the Cluny Abbey was the first equivalent of the Vatican in world history, and that is where World War I was started to commemorate that. Private Klein, Brush, not Bush, Drake, that's Brush, B-R-U-S-H-E, 2 of them already, 3 of them already. James Meldew. Private Hall, Brush, Hecker, not Decker at this stage, but you've seen the links. Medju, accent. Victor Meldew, isn't it hilarious? Cullen, ready for the grave already, and the gods will determine that, I believe. Private Peterson, Barker, Chicken Norton set, Bible translators in the early days. Private Jackson, Peterson, Wood Thor, PE, Apple Thor, PE. Yeah, isn't it amazing? Yeah, the PISO joke and the replacement of the real gods. Private Peterson. Private Crisp, and we still got batteries. Peterson, Bevan, oh the Welsh connection, and the Dragon players. Jensen, Chris Martin and Coldplay. Jensen, yeah, it does not bear thinking about. That is the papal joke for 2,000 years. Jensen, Legrand, Loveday, yeah, that is the Legrand Terror in Manchester for all the sad bastards. Jensen, Richards, Reynolds, the Mafia leaders, Davis, Roberts, Peterson, Davis. You see why David Davis packed up and left the Parliament building the other day? It will only last for 2 days or so, and then they have to repeat the news. Yeah, or kill another Cox or some such. Peterson, Ivy, the Ivy League family. Peterson, Newman, yeah, of the fudge that is mayonnaise. Private Watson, Emma, we're watching you, of Cragside, and the launch of the machine guns that do not work, but you still get paid for, as the troops die and are buried in the joke that this is the festival for the cabbages that you have created in those wars. Connaughton, Nissen, yeah, Liam Neeson, and we've seen the links to Schindler already. Newman, Richards, Pat Peterson, Newman again, Puck, yeah, the PUKA pies and the jokes about the gods, yeah, that are the pukas and the rabbits, yeah, for James Stewart. And all of it is the biggest piss take against the war dead that the world has ever launched, and it is endless. Newman, Brossman, Newman, Colditz, yeah, Private, the first name, McDougall, Butler, Rhett Butler, and everything that we've seen. Colditz, Neville, Holly. You get the searching for the Holly girl that's been kidnapped in Spain, so the police can get a nice holiday with Rupert Murdoch's staff. Private Colditz, Private Amon Ra, yeah, and the sun god's got several representatives in the family tree. Colditz, Boughton, not Broughton, and the rugby pitches. Holmes, Sir Alec Douglas with the Piso pipe. Boughton, Bridgemouth, Broughton, Colditz, Wesley, Johnson Colditz, Boughton, Private Walker, and that's the Bush family bloodlines. Boughton, Private Young, yeah, Paraffin Young, and all of the people that become the entrepreneurs. Margaret Joyce Colditz, Arthur Harold Brister, there's a Mr. Street, there's a, yeah, like we had in the pet shop in Kelson. Private Young, Private Street, Private Leg, Private Bristol, Private Leg, and that will be one of the beach jokes for Tom Hanks. Colditz, John W. Peel, Cornelius J. Mannering, Reverend, you've heard of him in Dad's Army. Private Stevens, loads of them, that's the head of the Met Police and Princess Diana's inquest. Johnson, Heaton, yeah, and the writs that I get from Hannah Mary Rothschild and PC Heaton, yeah, against me harassing them. Tornabine, yeah, that's Mr. Bean again. Tornabine, Cass, Wilson, Stevens of the Met Police, Tornabine, Wilson of Dad's Army, and the Prime Minister, Tornabine, Hegarty, Muir, Tornabine, Dendel, Tornabine, Otto, Bailey, Otto, Tasker, yeah, my pharmacist colleagues that are on the boards for John Lamont, who's probably not John Lamont on the business register, but is likely to be Julian Callum Lamont. Schofield, and my favourite actor in world history. Yeah, he would not be blind enough not to look God in the eye. Otto, Clay, like Cassius. Gunda, Donahue, Clay, Otto, Donahue. Walsh, Donahue, that's the Welshes in the bloodline for Bush. Donahue, Stevens, Donahue. Holland, yeah, the Hollands of France, and the stealing of the bank in London near the Jack the Ripper murders and the Bank of England. Steele with an E on the end. Billy and my friends and the politicians that have been my representatives, and I've won my admiration until I discovered them on the future of Russia boards. Private Stuart Pointing, Stuart Humphreys, yeah, John, you guilty person. Rendell, Stuart, just spelt like an ordinary rod. Rendell, Osmond, yeah, and the Osmond family from Bay City. Mary Elizabeth Maria Shanks, Stevens Jack, Watkins, Liverstone, Stuart, and we still got Barrys. Jean Irish Hickman, Watkins, Stuart, Keys, Stuart, Donahue, Tidbury, Stevens, Donahue, Sims, Bailey, Still, and the Stillers in the museum. Still, and they are Windsors. Locksley, and that's Robin Hood and Maid Marian of Locksley, and it's in the massive mafia, Nazi, SS story of the Bush family and the Nazi regime going into the White House. So there are, right next to Still, there is 1 Locksley, 2 Locksley, 3 Locksleys, 4 Locksleys, 5 Locksleys married to the Bailey, another Locksley, Private Bailey, Manthe Bailey, Stevens of the Met Police, Austin of The Spy Who Shagged Me, and Merkel's Scams, James Alfred Bailey, Still, MacLeod of Skye, and the registration of Scottish tartans, which is the Vestarium, which is why Ramsay Nisbet wears a vest and is on the world owning bloodlines. Bailey, Williams the Conquerors, Dummigans Bailey, Dummigan Galway, yeah, in Ireland, and that is Mr. Galway. Yeah, Galway, Private Stevens, Herb Thomas Galway, married to the Met Police leaders maybe. Private McCarthy, Galway, Henry John Stevens, Private Wilshire, Dudgeon, Wilshire, still got batteries. Wilshire, Fox of the News and all the propaganda for the Warner Brothers and Fox News, now led by Rupert Murdoch, the Imperator for the world, and they're pretending that he's looking old and decrepit like Dorian Gray in yesterday's papers. Byfelt, Charles Wesley Stevens, Private Tapp, and we're into the tapping now for Will Hay. Keeble, yeah, the name of my coach at Blackheath. Greenfield, Tapp, Darnell, Treweek, Tuffield, Rose Wesley, Dorothy May Tapp, Private Jones, Private Byrne. Oh my God. What the hell's happened to it? Rose Wesley, oh God. Private Byrne, Jones, David Jones, yeah, 1927 to 1981. Remember, that is the professorial boss that I had in Dunedin, and he's a Dutchman, and that is quite sinister in the religious story. David Alexander Tapp, Treweek, Private, oh here's Officer Dibley, and the Vicar of Dibley, Hillsdon, Dibley, Perrett, Dibley, Patchett, P-A-T-C-H-E-T-T, Diblet, Witten, Dibley, don't know if we're getting up to 2000 yet, Dibley, Dalpastro, Golleby, Dibley, that's G-O-L-E-B, and Gollum, and all the plants that are put into the world history to make it look as if everything's an exciting adventure. Private Thomas, Dibley, Holton, O'Brien, Gwina, O'Brien, Golby, Dibley, the Vicar of Dibley, and Officer Dibble, yeah, for Top Cat. Eva Myrtle Wellesley, Joyce Dibley, William Alfred Dibley, Dibley and Hitchcock from the Frankfurt ghetto and into Hollywood. Yeah, Private Hitchcock, Private Hitchcock, Private Hitchcock, Private Dibley, Private Parker, William Wesley Dibley. So we've got the Hitchcocks now, but we no longer have the Bertie Wooster lineage. Harris, Dibley, Dibley, Fordyce, Miller, 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 Bennett, Dibley, Fordyce, Britton, Fordyce, 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 Dibley, Bartlett, yeah, Herr Bartlett in The Great Escape, yeah, forgetting how to say the right word and escape effectively, yeah, and that is played by the family that is, I forget what the joke is, but it's a direct joke about the naming of the Windsor family. Dibley, 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 Preferment, yeah, that's Mr. Preferment, P-R-E-F-R-E-M-E-N-T, Private Dibley, that's his children. Colditz, 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 Wright, Smith, Smith, Cooper, Colditz, Cooper, Camfield, Cooper, Cooper, Harry Wesley, Colditz, Alvey Wesley, Henry Thomas William Colditz, Private Colditz. Still got Barry's. Edward Lyle Small, Lee Regina Small Booth, the presidential assassins. Small, Private Harris, Private Geddes again, that's Jenny Geddes' school, and all the religious profiteering right through the history of the religious strife. Frederick Arthur Small, Gwyneth Forster Small, Loxton Maid Marian Paltrow. Private Mitton, Mitton, yeah, and what is the name of the president in France? Yeah, Nona Withers Small, Frederick Charles Withers. Private cousins, Mitton, oh it's Mittal, sorry. Private cousins, Withers cousins, cousins, McGill of the mind control and the ECT and the lobotomy. Private cousins, Peg Prisk, Gordon Wesley Small, 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 Beryl Layla Small, Joyce Enid Small, Mavis Edith Small, and we've jumped a tree. Sorry, it could be broader than I thought. Oh my God, Maria Polly Goodwin, you've heard of them before, dangerous to approach at the RBS. Fred Scherf, Alan Scherf, Jesse B Scherf, Bertie A Scherf, oh the Woosters, Ruby, George Scherf, Henry Harry George Christian of John Scherf, Bottle Checker, Margaret Dwyer, George Hindmarsh Scherf, Rita Ethel Crawford, Private Scherf, Turner Scherf, Bono, oh isn't that a crude one? Private Turner married to Bono, and their children are called Turner and Turner, but they don't have first names because that might embarrass them. Private Gilby, Paulsen and the Paulsels, that are the relatives of Hitler, and are called Paulsel Jack in my hometown, and I love them all. And their lookalike has an open top car, and she just revealed it last night. Private Bargain Quest, Private Paulzone, Duncan Bargain Quest, Paulzin, yeah, Winifred Me, Frederick James Scherf, Private Pierce, Barbara Bush from Percy of Alnwick and Perseus the poet in ancient Rome. Private D'Amico, still got batteries. Private Scherf, Hindmarsh, Schindler's List, Private Scherf, Casambos, Hindmarsh, Jenkins, J-A-E-N-K-E, Prenzler, Scherf, oh they're taking a bit longer. Private Scherfs, Private D'Or, that's the gold, Scherf Lister, yeah, do you get it? Schindler and Mr. Lister. John Raymond Barnes, yeah, Gusher, Sheriff, Falcone, right back into ancient Rome, Nick Faldo, yeah, and Falco, the Roman senator, Murray John Busher, Digwood, Private Sheriff, Private Sharp, Mellish, Sheriff Jack, oh my god, my secrets are coming, Grother, Sheriff, Grother, that is Grotty, and the man that I met, and he plays Grotty in the comedy that is Porridge, and all of them are in the syndicate. George Hindmarsh, Sheriff, Dulcie Daphne Crawford, Croft Mummy, in the Lothians, and all of them are lookalikes for the Duke of Buccleuch, who were in Colditz. Yeah, and you now understand that they are in the family. Campbell, Crawford, Healy, Brown, Yarrow, my best man, and Eva. Eric Frederick George Crawford, Isabel Maud, not Mount but Batten. Mullins, Yarrow, Crawford, Knight, Yarrow, Flint, Crawford, oh, still got Barry's, Driver, Yarrow, Ethel Sheriff, Crawford, Fitzgerald, Private Lee, Private Mackay, Donald, yeah, Mackayser Susie, Private Mackay again, and their dad is Private Mackay, and their mum is Private Miles. Stockley, Private Mackay, Private Stockley, Private Milne, Orcafat rugby players, Milne, Mackay, Donald in Scotland, Mackay, Baker, Mackay, Mackayzers. Yeah, and all of them are totally decrepit. Those are the ones that were getting drunker and drunker every night. Private Mackay, Private Palmer, yeah, and that is the Mackay, the police, the prison inspector in Porridge, with the Barkers, with the chipping knot and set. Alan Henry Crawford, Private White, Private Mackay, Private White, Private Leighton, Private Crawford, Private Holt, Private Ward, Lackhoff, Holt, Lackhoff, Barrett again. Herr Bartlett was, I forget what the actor's family's name is, but they are massive. They are Attenborough, and that is Battenberg for Queenie. Private Crawford, Dignam, and my relatives in Cis-Lithuania. Holt Healy, we might have some escaping under the wire. Fulbrook, Holt, yeah, for the Badger colours. Do you get it? Everything is a pistake, and he sings for Queen. Hartnett, Bailey, Hartnett, Bagnall, Challen. We still got batteries. Anderson, Hartnett, Rayment, Mamanu, Rayment, Coates, May, Sheriff, that's May Teresa, Elsie, May, Sheriff. Her maiden name is Miss Elsie. Sorry, she's Elise Elsie to begin with, and she becomes Elise May Sheriff. William Hartnett, Coates, yeah, and there'll be a red Coates in it. Ruby Evelyn Christensen, Rybelt, Gelly Rabal, Hartnett, Anderson, that's Hitler's relatives, Hartnett, Nihan, as if it might have been Cohen, and they've gotten a bit nervous about it since I released the Tesco stories. Hartnett, Ward, Clark, Say, and Emma Sale, and all the prostitutes' families. Say, Wells, Ward, Say, Timms, that's Timbs, still got batteries. Private Bourke, Bourke, Private Say, the prostitutes. Emma Sale, Private Spinks, Private Harton, Private Brown, Private Brown, Eva and Gav, my best man. Private Lawton, Private Brown, Private Brown, Private Brown, Private Garth, Private Lynn, Private Garth, 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 Say, Lynn, Garth, 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 Russell, Say, and the mafias and the mind control experts. Mins, Garth, Garth, Mins, Mins, and the mini story. Yet that is the launch of the Queen's bloodline and Martin's sorrow. Rule, Say, Say, Rogers, Say, Horner, Lands, and that is the Horner employee of Butlins, and she works in America like the Bushes now do, and all of them get nursery rhymes. Dove, yeah, those are the doves that helped the Rothschilds steal the Bank of England. Terry, Dove, oh, John Terry of Chelsea, yeah, my correspondent for years. Say, Davis, Davis, Preston, yeah, middle names for Bush, yeah, and the places where all the Hancock's dentists and all the massive jokes are, because that's got the word PISO in it, and it's on